Hey guys, still here, welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Today, Germany, once again, we've seen these guys fight before. The new kids, we haven't seen fight yet, it's the Italians. I really like the design of the Italian ships. The way that the turrets have those little lifeboats on top of it, I just think it looks quite immersive. Is immersiveness enough to survive the battle against the Germans, or are the Germans at risk because the Italians carry torpedo tubes? Let's find out, shall we? This tournament is currently sponsored by The Block Zone, you can see them here. The winner is going to get this 1 in 200 scale. It's a big one. Bismarck. The Bismarck is going to be taking up 1.25 meters in your living room once you have all 7,164 pieces complete. If you want to get a project from the Block Zone, they have a lot of them. They got military gear. I've recently actually made this car with Quinn. I'll add a clip. And they got all sorts of different gear. You can go for cars, you can go for military vehicles, which you might find yourself interested in, ranging from anything like a Ferdinand, a bridge layer, Abrams. We got a missile carrier tank. This seems to be something out of an odd contraption game. They got many projects, and yes, these projects are not necessarily cheap. But if you use code STEALTH upon checkout or use my link down below in the description, you're going to be getting 10% off, and you directly support the channel. Big thank you to the Block Zone for sponsoring the tournament and providing that Bismarck to the eventual winner, but we're not there yet. First, we have a couple of battles to do. Join me for the next one. And we're off to the races. We have the Impero class on the Italian side. 13.5-inch guns, a pretty sturdy amount of armor, although superstructure could become a problem. 13.5-inch guns with a 22.6 second reload. That is a lot faster than those German ships. The German ships are using 14-inch guns, 14.2s. They are pretty dangerous. They got a decent mix of accuracy, rate of fire, and I would say fire setting potential going on. They don't have a whole lot of secondaries, but if they do close the distance, you're going to look at, let's say, half of those 5-inch guns. So you're going to be looking at 6 5-inch barrels pointing at you. By contrast, we have the Impero class. They only have 3.5-inch secondaries. So the chance that these things get into range is not that great. And if they do, I doubt they're going to be doing that much. It is possible for these things to set fires. They do have fire-setting shells. They got high-capacity HE, so that's plenty of fire-setting capability. I think their more interesting option is going to come out of the torpedo tubes. It's the 24-inch torpedo. That thing hits you, you're going to be in trouble. Now, for now, both parties are just duking it out at long range. The veteran crew from the Italians has already been working hard at the accuracy. We're working at almost 10% on the Bacana. The Impero seems to be switching targets, I guess. Ooh. Whoa. Rudder damaged and flooding. That's a pretty bad start for the Impero. And San Filippo La Reale, about 5% chance to hit. 11% now on the Bacana. The Italian salvo seems to be going for the middle German ship here. Now, it's taken some damage, but most of it seems to have been, well, uneventful. Main tower partial pen, another main tower partial pen. So yeah, the main tower is taking some damage, yet it doesn't seem that serious. Not yet. The Germans just stubbornly pointing their guns at the enemy, whereas the Italians are actually pointing their bows at the enemy. This could be a problem for the Italians. It means that all those turn turrets, so a third of the DPS of each ship, is unavailable. That could be a problem. And it's not like your A and B turrets are suddenly going to fire faster to make up for that loss. So it's going to be very interesting to see just how well this is going to go for the Italians. Now, the Italians do have per ship 1 barrel more than the Germans. The Germans is 8 barrels. The Italians have 9. Torpedo detonation aboard the Impero. It's some damage, but nothing too critical. We're looking at, again, spacious quarters, maximum bulkheads. You're going to be looking at a lot of crew, as well as a very survivable ship. The Germans, well, they're no slouch. Although that main tower is not looking too good. That main tower could be in a lot of trouble. They take down the main tower. That German accuracy advantage, at least on this ship, could get negated. Partial pen against the deck, main deck. Yeah, all of these battlecruiser designs have a lot of armor on the main deck, and you get, well, most ships have about 167% armor bonus. So it's going to be a real challenge to be able to pen the best parts of the ship, the best armored parts of the ship. Flying right over. Italians are missing by very, well, substantial ranges at some point. I've seen shells fly over as much as 1 kilometer. The Impero, badly damaged, looks at about 50% damage and stability. The Germans aren't exactly done with the Italians yet, though. The accuracy from the Italian side is pretty awful at this point. Oh, we have a torpedo launch from the Bacana. These torpedoes can traverse 23 kilometers. So we're going to be waiting a while before these actually get to the target. They are relatively sneaky at minus 36%. And they are a 24-inch. So even if you have, there they are, a torpedo blister, that's not necessarily a guarantee for survival. The Impero did not launch. San Filippo did also not yet launch. Please tell me they don't have some bug with the main turrets going on, because that seems to be happening way too often. Their turret rotation speed is about 4 degrees per second, so considering we're not trying to rotate these things very, very quickly, they should have no problem getting the guns on target. Really? The Italians are getting hit by the gun bug? Oh, come on. For some reason, the Bacana is not affected. Ah, the Impero is opening up again. But their relatively healthy San Filippo is not. I really hope that something like this gets fixed pretty quick, because it just makes running these tournaments a bit of a hassle. And considering just how uncontrollable it is for me as a factor in battles, it makes it very difficult to work around it too. Because it might happen to the Italians, I don't know, 3 times. It might happen to the Germans 5 times. It's very difficult to work around. In the previous tournament, I think Spain had the issue every single time. They did manage to get very, very far in the tournament, so in that regard you could make the case, well, it didn't really seem to hamper them. No, but they might have even won the tournament if it had not happened. The Impero is just refusing to fire. She's targeting a warship, and considering they're not identified yet, I can't tell you which one it is. I've seen plenty of comments going, she's trying to turn. Yeah, she's not. It's just that her turrets refuse to work. And this is one of those situations where I go, yeah, well, sorry, tough luck. I am not rerunning the battle. Because then suddenly the Germans might find themselves getting punished really hard. But, well, such is life. I'm not going to rerun the battle because of a bug. Because it is not something I can control, and if the battle turns out suddenly in favor of the Germans, or certainly in favor of the Italians, the German player might go, yeah, well, this is not what happened the first time around, so this isn't fair. I'm not in a very comfortable position when it comes to this. I don't like it. I hope it gets fixed very quickly. I hope the devs are aware of what is the issue, and that there is an issue in the first place. And then, if they're aware, that they can fix it. Serious damage to the German ships now, as look at that, now all the Italian ships are opening up, focusing fire on the middle German battlecruiser, which seems to be leaving the formation. Ooh, hello torpedo. Or at least falling back, and maybe that was it. Maybe they were trying to dodge the torpedo. More fire damage. Impero's not launching her torps yet, neither is the San Filippo. Bacana is still reloading her section. Okay. Oh, look at this. The other German ships. They're not changing formation, they're trying to dodge the torps, that was it. This does mean that the Germans have lost about half their DPS. That is, if these turrets would be interested in turning, working. The ship's turning. The turrets aren't? Ah, there we go. The turrets are firing. The Germans are not yet affected by the gun bug. Bakana had a torpedo launcher. Both torpedo launchers destroyed. She's not going to be using those anymore. Which means that the Germans have one issue less to worry about. The Impero, however, has launched her torps. San Filippo, not yet. You've launched your torps against... Yeah, I still haven't identified them. How's the Impero doing? That's quite a bit of flooding that she's taken. She's starting to list. Could have an impact on her ability to launch torpedoes and potentially fire her guns. That's a very neat, tidy spread. But it's going to take a while to get there. And by that point, it might have already spread out a whole lot more. Whoa. Serious damage to the German lead ship at this point. Lots of fire damage too. The Italians and the Germans are very close in damage done. We're now seeing... No, it's just main guns. It's just the 13.5s. I'm not yet seeing the secondaries. Ooh. Flooding on the Bakana. There we go. Lutzo. How's Lutzo doing? Not that bad, actually. Yeah, she has some fires going, but she can handle that. Her 5-inchers and 3-inchers are now peppering the Bakana. And, well, the others are peppering the Impero. Which means that both of these ships could start taking fire damage. Where's that torpedo salvo? Yeah, look at how much that has fanned out. And I wouldn't be surprised if Lutzo knows about it. And probably has known about it from the launch. Because that's just how AI ships work. They have a... No. Actually, they do not have a sonar. So, yeah, now the Lutzo detects the torps when they're 600 meters out. 600 to 700. Jeez, that could have been deadly to the Germans. Very, very, very deadly. And keep in mind that I believe the Germans have been subjected to torpedo attacks before. When it came to the French. Which surprised them a few times with torpedoes, but not really to any avail. Bakana and San Filippo trying to set up a new formation, I guess. Bakana is going to be leading it now. San Filippo is falling back. The Germans have taken some damage, but the Italians have taken a whole lot more. And I don't see the Germans losing a ship. I just don't see it happening. Simply because the Lutzo isn't that badly burned. She's lost about 14% of her crew. Rheingold, about 16.8. Greven hasn't lost anything. Like 0.2% is completely negligible. Oh, that's a big hit on the Impero. Chance to pen for the Italians is 0%. They have no chance to pen the German belt armor. Not even the 4-belt. Woof, that was another big hit. Secondary damage done. The Italians risk colliding here. As the San Filippo slides around at 26 knots. Good for her. Ramming damage isn't a thing if she would have connected. Have these 3-inchers done anything? No, absolutely nothing. There might not even be around anymore, actually. Now, credit where credit is due, the Italians are not giving up. They're continuing the fight. Impero and Bakana, badly, badly damaged. No secondaries left in the first place. They do have their main guns. They have plenty of ammo. And the Lutzo is consistently taking damage. With the San Filippo angled like this, though, she won't be able to use 66% of her turrets. The bow turrets are not able to acquire the Lutzo. More fire. These Germans are really good designs. The Rheingold class. They're just very dependable, it feels like. Which I guess is, well, a German trait, perhaps? Just solid guns, not the biggest, not the smallest. You got decent cruising speed at 35 knots. You got a very hefty amount of armor, including on the superstructure. So your chance of getting your superstructure destroyed is substantially less. No torpedoes. I feel their weak spot could be enemy torpedoes because they don't see them. And even if they do see them, they don't have a torpedo blister. No, sorry, they do have anti-torp 2. So they do have some torpedo blister. But they handled the French very, very adequately. And it looks like they might be doing the same thing to the Italians. It's going to be a question now of which one is going to sink first. The Italian Bacana has lost all of her secondaries too. Oh, right. You cannot armor up a 3-inch gun. That's probably why. So, you're looking at unarmored 3-inch guns, and they're getting taken out very quickly. The 5-inch guns, you can put armor on. And because of that, the 5-inch guns from the Germans are still functional. And the 5-inch guns, make no mistake, have added to the battle. 2,856 damage, to be exact. So yeah, they've been useful. Bacana, 80% chance to hit the damaged Lutzo. She's firing armor piercing, but Lutzo shouldn't have any issue shrugging most of that off. Yeah, partial pens all over the place. The Germans, by contrast, have no issue pinning the Italians. 24% chance, and the Bacana is still looking at 0. These Italian guns, they're just not good enough. Maybe they're relying on fire damage, like overwhelming fire. But the AI doesn't necessarily use a whole lot of HE rounds. I mean, she is now. But I don't think it's going to be enough. Lutzo, well... Lutzo's working hard to control all those fires. But if you suddenly start targeting something else, and the AI has a tendency to do that, then that... Whoops, boink. That could mean that the Italians suddenly switch to the Guben, for example, and completely ignore the almost finished off Lutzo. There it is. The Impero has switched to the Rheingold. Rheingold doesn't mind. She's healthy. 67% structural integrity. 17% crew loss. She's not at risk of losing the fight whatsoever. So she just plods along, continuing to plot the demise of the San Filippo, which doesn't need a whole lot more to meet her demise. Peppered with serious impacts all over the hull. The ship's listing badly to starboard, almost like she's going to roll over. She's still flooding. Basically all of her compartments bar 2 have been flooded. 6%. Look at how badly this thing is tilting. Those guns? Yeah, they're no threat to the Germans anymore. There she goes. Sinks due to heavy flooding. Now, I don't think the Bacana is going to be sinking too far away. If it's not because of her flooding, then probably because of her lack of structural integrity. Is she going to be joined by a German ship? I doubt it. Because, kind of as I predicted, the Germans have been given an opportunity to fix up all the fires from the Lutzo. And because of that, the Lutzo is no longer at risk of getting overwhelmed by those fires. Rheingold, still taking some fires, but I kind of doubt it's going to be able to kill them. The Italian... the Italian 2-inchers have done a whole 14 damage. And that's it. The secondaries for the Italians are just largely useless. Bacana still acquired on Guben? Why, dude? You got the opportunity to take out either Rheingold or Lutzo and you target the healthy one. Oh boy, this is just gonna cost so many ships the tournament, the battle, the win. And yeah, I've been seeing reports of people saying, well, you should split up the divisions. Because then the ships will target differently. Yeah, sure they will. Ooh, that was quick. Sure they will. But the AI formation is also 3 ships in 1 formation. So I don't see any reason to give, let's say, the somewhat player controlled / I can set them to AI and AI torpedo dodging and stuff. I don't see any reason to give this side an unfair advantage. Anyway, with this, the point goes to the Germans. And with that, the Germans claim another point. So, Italy, Germany. Germany takes a point, getting them the first leader position, if you will, because they have 2 wins, 0 losses. UK has won once, and Italy... Not looking great for them. They do still have some opponents left to go. We're going to be seeing them fight France. We're going to be seeing them fight the US. And yeah, that's it. So they still have 2 opportunities to fight and win. The French, well, we've seen those before. They have potential with those quadruple turrets. And we also have the US. That's the Super Alaska class. These things are no joke. You'll be seeing them very soon in the US versus the UK match. First, though, Russia versus China. Interesting designs, especially with the Russians bow-oriented. So, well, let's see how that one's gonna go. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and if you want to build something from the block zone, link down below in the description. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon for more.